Good evening and welcome to another fantastic night of MLU action, Major League Ultimate. We're in beautiful, unusually sunny Vancouver, British Columbia for a late season matchup between the Vancouver Nighthawks and the San Francisco Dogfish. Dogfish triumphed over the Nighthawks in a very close game last week. Both these teams are at the bottom of the West, and this is a must-win game for each of them. The Nighthawks are set to pull. I'm Chris Cannon here with Chris Brentlinger-Grant. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris. Beautiful day for Ultimate.
Sooner or later, they're going to get to the pull there. Looks like later. And here it comes. That's Dave Hochhalter pulling for the Vancouver Nighthawks.
Vancouver comes out right away in their great man-to-man, bottling San Francisco right up in their own end.
Dogfish just handling between number 9, Gabe Sunkaya, number 14, Andrew Hooker. They put up a big one to a wide open receiver. Backhand into the end zone. Dogfish draw first blood. Dogfish pulling out of the sun. Beauty too. Lots of hang time gives the Dogfish time to get down there. Couldn't quite put him on the sideline. Vancouver gets it out, uses the width of the field.
Double team from San Francisco now.
Vancouver gets it out around the double team and over to the sideline. And a big huck. Oh, the Dogfish get it. It was a big huck to Brendan Wong. Usually reliable on those. But that was a lot of hang time. Dogfish were able to get up there, get the D. They bring it in, center it right away. Jackson Stearns getting the disc up the sideline. Oh, and a hand block. Ian Ronahan hand blocked. And Vancouver scores. Ties it up 1-1. Vancouver with the pull. Looks like David Hochhalter with the disc. That was Taylor Nadon getting that hand block for Vancouver. That was beauty. Quick conversion for a score.
In order to make the playoffs, right now at this stage in the season, these bottom two teams, Vancouver needs to win every game, and they depend on Seattle to lose the rest of their 2 games in order to have a shot at making it this season.
The Dogfish with a really nice huck right up the center. There were 2 Nighthawks on, but couldn't quite get to it. Lots of float time there. And a little backhand into the end zone for San Francisco. The receiver just couldn't rein it in. Nighthawks starting from the front of their own end zone. Giorgio Ponte with the disc. Couple of quick short shots. That's several little backhands in a row. And now a huck from David Hochhalter into the end zone and a beautiful catch. That is, I believe, Nathan Lamb for the Vancouver Nighthawks. They're up 2-1.
Referencing, in order for Vancouver to make the playoffs, not only do they depend on Seattle to lose the remainder of their games, they must also make up a 19-score differential between them and the Rainmakers. 2 games left. We'll see if Vancouver can do it here, getting a start against the Dogfish.
Matt Kissman picks it up on the sideline from the pull. Throws it into the center. Big huck. Wide open, number 5, Taylor Casino. And he does a nice little backhand into the end zone and a sweet little layout. Nighthawks giving up the lead, tied 2-2. That was Matt Kissman with a nice layout grab. score and tie it up. And the Nighthawks start. Set it to the middle and set up their play.
They come out on offense in good fashion, as we've seen so often from the Nighthawks this season. A series of very accurate short passes their way up the field. Not many chances taken by the Nighthawks.
They are working that short really nice. I believe that was Ari Nittman that put that one out. Not quite enough on it. Deed by the Dogfish. The Dogfish with a quick huck up the open side. Into coverage, though. Vancouver gets it back quickly. Taylor Nadon with the disc on the sideline. Swings. Nighthawks, again, not using the breadth of the field. Look back into the D, but they get it off to Brendan Wong. Puts up a nice little flick. I.O. Just past the defense. And a score. I believe that's Ari Nickman with the score. The Nighthawks retake the lead 3-2. Oh, and an offsides call on the pull. Looks like it's against the Nighthawks.
First times we've seen that this season. Vancouver is usually very organized, at least coming out of their own end. Refs haven't called that a whole lot this season.
The Nighthawks called on an offsides. They have to pull from the back of their own end zone. Long, flat pull. They still get it down to the 20. San Francisco having trouble getting it past the mark. High stall count. They put it deep. Oh, Giorgio Ponte on the D, but not quite enough. Good handshake there. Dogfish score. That was Andrew Riggs, number 24, with the score. The San Francisco Dogfish. Nighthawks getting the disc, and we just realized we haven't seen Morgan Hibbert yet.
It's usually the
oh, and an unfortunate throw right up the middle to the Dogfish D. They pick it up, move it quickly. That was number 14, Andrew Hooker. In the center. Gets the dump, swings it out. Effective use of the width of the field. And Hooker again. Oh, and a nice bid. That's Levi Jeske with a great bid. Didn't quite get it, though. Hooker again with the disc. Throws a hammer right to the mark. Oh, and then he grabs it. That's Alon McFarland with a beautiful mark there. James Pollard on the sideline with the disc. Looking big. Oh, my goodness. That was a very nice forehand OY across the field. Sam Creed getting the disc right there on the sideline. Moves it up and in a little to Alon McFarland. A little up the sideline. Vancouver just walking it off the open side. Finally swing it out. Again, not using the width of the field. There they go. So they're trying to set up an offensive play.
Cutters are having a tough time so far, breaking back to the disc and not leaving a whole lot of options back there for the handlers. Until they go over the top.
That's Morgan Hibbert with the throw. It's the first time we've called his name tonight. Held the MLU lead this season in points per game by a margin of 7. 7 points per game more than any other player in the MLU. Back from timeout. I believe that was a San Francisco timeout. Disc is in. San Francisco with an immediate flick huck. It is a high floater. Oh, indeed by Ari Nickman. And that was Kessman on the receiving end. San Francisco not shy about throwing those bombs. David Hockhalter coming back for the disc. Gabe Sonkia on the mark. And there is a defensive foul called. That's 10 yards. Vancouver will walk it up. Hochhalter, quick swing and out, far side. Michael Yee looking for a target. He swings it back across. Ted Chu, backhand up the side. Oh, and the defender run over.
A lot of contact there from the San Francisco defender. Vancouver will take it from the spot.
That was number 2, Sam Adamson, with great spirit there after the run down there. Another foul called. San Francisco called 10-yard penalty for defensive foul. Vancouver gets the disc again on the sideline. They're working it down this sideline a lot this game. Scuba to the middle, doesn't quite pay off. And the Dogfish get a man deep. Oh, and a great bid. Not quite there, though. That's number 6, number 8, James Pollard, we believe. San Francisco take the lead 4-3. We believe that last score was Jaeger to Casino. We're up here in the nosebleeds watching through binoculars, so we can't get all the names, but we're trying. Nighthawks center it. Sam Creed, the big backhand up the line. And a quick flick huck. That's Bobo Irick putting a floater down into coverage. Oh, and San Francisco gets it.
Morgan's usually an excellent jumper. Couldn't get that high, though. That was quite an effort.
It's Andrew Hooker with the disc on the sideline. He centers. David Abram throws a big flick cross field. Trying to catch a receiving handler there. Not quite catchable. Vancouver gets it near their own end zone. Sam Creed just inside the 10. He's a lefty. Throws a low centering pass to Morgan Hibbert. A lefty and a righty, Morgan Hibbert. Sometimes he gets called on travels for using both hands. Oh, and a big layout bid. Can't quite see the number, but we'll be sure and get that guy's name. That's number 19, Nicholas Fisk. The beautiful layout D. David Abrams centers it. It's swung across the field. Jackson Stearns has it. It sends it to the dump and again across the field. San Francisco very effective at using the width of the field. Down called. Looks like the disc hit the turf. San Francisco turns it over at the 30 to the Vancouver Nighthawks. Sam Creed picks it up. Looking to get it off the sideline. Needs a man in the center. And another big layout D by San Francisco. Doesn't quite pay off. Morgan Hibbert centers, but San Francisco D players down. Fisk getting a nice round of applause from this classy Vancouver crowd. Ari Niddickman with the disc, trying to find someone off the sideline. He centers to Brendan Wong. Finds Bobo Irick, who's been putting up these great hucks. Another flick, another bit floaty. But this one the Nighthawks come down with. That is Taylor Nadon making an impact early in this game. It's a good game so far, San Francisco versus Vancouver. 22 seconds left in the first quarter, tied 4-4. Seeing some great action from these two teams.
Good
Puck
moves.
gets deep into the end zone. San Francisco walks it out.
Vancouver, good tenacious man-on-man defense here, hoping to pin him back with 10 seconds left, knowing the Hail Mary will probably come.
And there it is, a backhand crossfield huck. Oh, deed by Vancouver. Wouldn't have made it anyway. Horn blows. Tie is 4-4 into the first.
Canterbury, the official apparel supplier to Major League Ultimate. Dress like a pro. Visit www.canterburyus.com, the destination for all your team's custom uniforms and athletic apparel needs. Canterbury, proud partner of Major League Ultimate, committed to the game. Go to discstore.com to purchase official merchandise of Major League Ultimate, game discs, apparel, accessories, and more. Disstore.com is the world's premier supplier of Ultimate Frisbee products and the official store of the MLU. Disstore.com, that's disstore.com. Wear the same Ultimate gloves as the pros. Friction Gloves helps your throws and catches in all conditions. To find out more information and get a pair, visit frictiongloves.com.
It's been an exciting game. Only one of these teams has a chance to move on after today's game.
San Francisco is going to be quite busy. They're traveling to Seattle tomorrow to play in one of the rare back-to-backs we see in Major League Ultimate. Vancouver will have the same next weekend when they host Portland and then travel themselves to Seattle on the Sunday.
Seattle has to lose both those games for either of these teams to make it to the playoffs. Seattle wins this weekend or next weekend, both the Dogfish and the Nighthawks will be out. Pulls out of bounds. Taylor Nadon takes the disc to the center. Resets on a high stall count. Sam Creed with a sharp backhand lefty to Levi Jeske to the center. Nighthawks just walking it up on the short throws. Very nicely done, very crisp.
Not much defensive pressure facing him so far here. Excellent job, about 3 or 4 seconds of handling the disc each time out.
Oh, and the Nighthawks with a little back forehand OI to Bobo Irick. He's a happy man. That OI flick was brought to you courtesy of R.A. Niddickman to Bobo, don't call me Charles Irick. Vancouver with a low but long backhand pull. Seattle walks it out the end zone. A few short throws, looking for the reset on a high stall count. Oh, doesn't quite get it with the flip. That was a nice bid by James Yeager. The disc was just out of his reach. Michael LaRosse looking to score with a quick little flip to number 20, Kevin Chan. Nighthawks scoring the first 2 points of the second quarter. Enjoying a 2-point lead, 6-4. San Francisco gets it, keeps it in the center. Walks it up with a couple of quick flips. Gabe Sunkea. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Getting a lot of disc time. San Francisco getting it close to the end zone. That was number 14, Andrew Hooker, into the end zone to number 27, Nicholas Thompson. San Francisco pulls within 1. Number 5, Taylor Casino, pulling the disc to the Nighthawks. It's a high pull, but a short one.
Taylor Casino certainly on the all-name team for Major League Ultimate, right up there with Vancouver's Kirk Savage.
Sam Creed with the disc. Squeeze into R.A. Niddickman. The outside, Taylor Nadon with a high release. Back to Ari. Good with those give and goes. Up the line to Bobo Irick. Crossfield Scuba back to Ari Niddickman. To Brendan Wong. Another Scuba into the end zone. Taylor Nadon. No, that's Morgan Hibbert receiving that second Scuba. Vancouver again with a 2-point lead. Vancouver Nighthawks up 7-5 after a timeout. Nighthawks timeout. They just scored, so they'll get to pull from the 50-yard line. That's Morgan Hibbert with the disc. And he's going to throw it high. Rolls a bit. But a little backhand to Hooker. Oh, right at the goal line. Doesn't pull it in. Looks like he was looking to turn and throw immediately. Oh, Vancouver with a couple of rough throws. But who is that? Looks like Nathan Lamb caught that in the end zone. Vancouver up 8-5. David Hochhalter, with an injured thumb and a bandage on his throwing hand, is still pulling from Vancouver. He's a tough cookie.
He's had a couple of beautiful pulls so far here today. You would never be able to tell he's playing injured.
San Francisco zipping it up the center, and again, oh, and a beautiful layout D. That's Hochhalter, injury and all, nailing that disc. He comes back to pick it up as well and puts it up big, but it's down the sideline. Conservation of greatness. Looks like San Francisco is going to get it partway up the field.
It's like Hochhalter's coming out injured. May have re-injured his hand on that layout bid.
Oh, he did walk off. I couldn't tell if that was a timeout or what, but it does look like they've wanted to take a few minutes.
It's as though he re-aggravated his throwing hand there, which may have led to that throw being so far offline. He'll take a couple minutes.
The Dogfish put up a big flick huck. That's number 9, Gabe Sonkia, again with a score. He is getting a lot of play time today, making some impressive grabs. San Francisco Dogfish with the pull. Get it down to the front of the Vancouver end zone. Taylor Nadon picks it up, gets it to Sam Creed, throws it to Morgan Hibbert, who is run into by the defender. Vancouver gets 10 yards for the call, defensive foul.
See, San Francisco bench didn't like it. Let the referee know a little bit. No matter for them, though. Quick turnover.
That was an uncharacteristic misfire. Morgan Hibbert to Brendan Wong. Doesn't quite rein it in. San Francisco gets the disc on their side of the field. Sorry, on the Nighthawks side of the field. San Francisco looking for the reset. Instead, they fling it over to the sideline. Work it back out to the middle and again to the far sideline. That's number 4, David Janinis with the score. I'm going to talk about you. San Francisco with the pull. We'd like to apologize to the families of David Janinis and Gabe Sonke, whose names we've been mispronouncing. We've got a Dogfish in the booth now. She's been very helpful. Oh, the Nighthawks with the misfire, backhand up the middle, but there's a call. Looks like a defensive foul against San Francisco. Nighthawks still get the disc, center of the field. Bobo Irick on the sideline looking to center. Sam Creed, nothing to swing to, looks up, looks across again. Ari Niddickman shows up. A long, sweet backhand into the end zone to Alon McFarland. Nighthawks up 9-7. Vancouver Nighthawks with the pull, up by 2. 5.5 left in the second quarter. A short pull. Dogfish pick it up about a third of the way up the field and center. Number 12, Thomas Lassiter.
Still haven't seen anything other than man-to-man coverage from these teams so far.
Dogfish put up a big flick huck, but it's just a little too far. Receiver claiming responsibility. San Francisco Dogfish are a classy team. That was number 35, Andrew Goldstein. Now on the mark. Nighthawks quickly running it up the far sideline. Now looking to center, not there. Chopped on the sideline again. Samson Hoy throwing it up the sideline to Ted Chu. A little flick up to number 20, Kevin Chan. Beautiful little I.O. I believe that was Michael Yee.
Vancouver having their way so far with the short passes.
Ted Chu trapped on the sideline there. Oh, there's a defensive call against the mark. He's going to get a fresh count at his own end zone. You can't ask for more than that. And a nice little break. Little break to the outside to number 19, Nathan Lamb. Nice point for Vancouver. Vancouver Nighthawks with their biggest lead of the game, 10-7, up 3 points. Put up a big floaty huck.
We haven't seen anybody be banded yet, but on a handful of occasions, San Francisco has been called for defensive pressure. Can't be too happy about that.
That disc floated all the way to the back of the end zone, just barely landing on the line. Referees call it San Francisco's favor. They're going to get it at the brick. It's number 4, David Janinis. Walking it up to center at the brick. Flips it back to the 10. Matt Kissman with the disc, looking for someone to reset to. Andrew Hooker with a really nice throw up the sideline. And then Fisk calling for a foul on that throw, and he gets it.
The referees haven't been shy about calling defensive contact here today.
These are pretty good calls, though. Vancouver refs are a good reffing group. And active today, they just called another one against Vancouver. So Fisk has it, unless that was a 20-yard variety. Oh, and a nice layout by Hooker on what should have been an easy swing, an easy dump. Number 16 for that San Francisco with a nice little I.O., but David Hochhalter, equal to the task, flies across the field and gets a D. Throws it up the field. I don't think that was the intended receiver, but Morgan Hibbert get it, and he puts up a nice big backhand just, well, not just, quite out of the reach, out of number 10, Anthony Fan. Uncharacteristic large number turnovers from both teams today. Unforced errors. San Francisco's going to have it at the front of their end zone. David
Hochhalter playing with that hand or wrist injury. Has been perhaps the most active player for Vancouver today. We've called his name on a number of occasions. Certainly with the defensive intensity as well.
The Nighthawks come out with a nice big huck. Morgan gets the receiver to miss the disc, but Taylor Nadon's right there to make sure it hits the ground. Nighthawks walk it up with a series of short passes. Alon McFarland with a big floaty backhand up in the air. Again to Ari Nittickman. Nighthawks timeout. Morgan Hibbert with a big backhand halfway up the field. And this is a great vantage point. If you see those trees in the background, right on the other side of that is the Pacific Ocean. This is a wonderful place to play. Nighthawks put it out the back of the end zone. San Francisco is going to get it at the brick.
See mixed strategies there, calling timeouts before polls. Morgan Hibbert elected to throw it deep on that occasion. Didn't work out this time.
It was Michael McGurk that started it from the center. Dogfish throwing a couple of shorts, just looking for some nice easy ones. Nighthawks with some nice tight D.
Another foul.
That was number 9, Gabe Sonke. He gets it up the sideline. Looking for the reset. Again, the Nighthawks with nice tight D. Dogfish just get it past him. Oh, and again. Now there is an open player. Number 27, Nicholas Thompson puts it back. Swung across the field.
For the most part, Vancouver's played right on man-to-man coverage, and they've done an excellent job of defending the deep huck over the top, as they've been susceptible to be giving up over the last couple of weeks.
Taylor Casino and James Pollard trading shots. Just a couple little quick weave plays. And a big OI flick into the end zone. Snagged away by Nathan Lamb. He is a defensive monster. And you wouldn't think it to look at him. But he is deceptively smart and fast. And most important, he has hustle. He never gives up on a disc. And you're going to see a lot more impressive plays by him in the years to come. Nighthawks have the disc. They get a call close to their own end zone now. Ted Chu in double coverage. This is an MLU convention, allowing double coverage without at least somebody open, and it rarely works out, and it doesn't work out here. A nice little backhand from Ted Chu. Low one to Morgan Hibbert in the end zone. The Nighthawks are up 12-7. It seems there was some kind of call between points, not sure what it was, but Vancouver gets to pull from the 20, and the Dogfish have to start from the back of their end zone. It's a high pull. Mike LaRosse getting right down there on the mark. Great hustle. Again on the mark, and again on the mark. Nighthawks playing a little bit of a zone D, but San Francisco puts it up into coverage. And they had to because that was the end of the quarter. It is up. It is Vancouver Nighthawks up 12-7 at the half over the San Francisco Dogfish.
Is pain stopping you from playing your best? Get rid of your pain and get back to your game at G Sports Physical Therapy, the experts in sports rehabilitation. Visit our website today at gsportsphysicaltherapy.com. Stop your hands from sweating and increase your performance with Gamer Grip. This non-sticky solution allows you to make better throws and grab better catches without a hint of slippage. Innova is proud to support Major League Ultimate and its incredible athletes. As the official disc of the MLU, the Innova Pulsar has quickly become the disc of choice at Ultimate's highest level. Visit innovadisc.com to find a dealer near you. Can Jam, proud sponsor of MLU 2015. Can Jam is a fast-paced disc game perfect for the backyard, tailgating, or warming up for Ultimate. Get Can Jam today at the team store or online at canjam.com. Use bonus code ULTIMATE for 10% off your purchase.
We are back for some exciting second half action in this game between the San Francisco Dogfish and the Vancouver Nighthawks, both fighting for a shot at a playoff spot. It's not entirely up to them. The Seattle team, the Rainmakers, they will have to do themselves some damage over the next few games for either of these teams to get into the playoffs. But right now, Vancouver has the advantage. Beginning of the second half, up 12-7 over the San Francisco Dogfish.
Scores from around the league earlier today. Philadelphia Spinners are on top of the Washington, D.C. Currents, 17-14. New York Rumble and Boston Whitecaps are currently in progress. And the third game of today, this Saturday, is, of course, the Nighthawks and the Dogfish. Lots of games with playoff implications going on today on this sunny Saturday here on the West Coast.
San Francisco working it around the center, looking for a reset, but a foul called on the mark. Morgan Hibbert against James Pollard has the disc. Foul was called against Morgan Hibbert. Vancouver jumps into a double team there. They get called for another foul. That's another 10 yards. The refs have been active this game, but they have been fair. So it's Pollard with the disc, Morgan Hibbert on the mark. No double team. He quickly puts up a really nice, if floaty, forehand huck. Unfortunately, it's just in and out of the hands. Can't really tell who the receiver was, but it's David Hochhalter was there, and he's the one walking up the disc. Throws it up to the sideline to Morgan Hibbert. A quick throw back to Hochhalter, centers it, back to the sideline. Vancouver is not really working the width of the field, but they don't have to if they're going to get these kinds of throws up the sideline. That one was unfortunate, a little outside the catching area. Ted Chu chasing it. San Francisco Dogfish will get the disc at their own end zone. Scratch that. The throw crossed the sideline, so they're going to get to walk it up a bit. That's Michael McGurk with the disc on the sideline with a hammer to the middle. A nice one, too. This is a windy field. You can't tell, there's not a lot of flags, but we're right on the ocean, and the wind does come across, and that was an upwind hammer across the field. Dogfish with some really nice throws here. And a spike by number 35, Andrew Goldstein. Got it right in the breadbasket. And the Dogfish trying to mount a comeback against the Vancouver Nighthawks. San Francisco Dogfish with the pull. High floaty one, but you can see the wind pushing it towards the sideline. Vancouver centers and sets up their play. Sam Creed with the disc. Can't find a receiver, looks to reset, throws a wide swing out to Taylor Nadon. Now he's trapped on the sideline. Puts it back to the middle though. That is Brendan Wong to Alon McFarland with a nice quick flip to Sam Creed.
So here's some excellent job by San Francisco defending the cutters. Not a whole lot of space for Vancouver to get the disc back into the middle of the field, especially to make up some yardage. They're just basically going side to side.
This little group here of handlers is really working the disc nicely, using the width of the field. Sam Creed, Taylor Nadon, Alon McFarland. These guys are working very well together, getting open, being patient, hitting those open targets. Basically, looks like a weave. Brendan Wong in there, of course. He's looking for the hammer, looking. It's not there. He flips it out to Hibbert, flips it out to Creed. Short one to Brendan Wong. Resets. That's Ari Niddickman. Back to Alon McFarland. And a nice breezy backhand into the end zone to Brendan Wong. That is one of the best offensive drives I've seen from Vancouver the entire season. Vancouver Nighthawks with the pull. David Hockhalter, injured thumb and all. These nice backhand beauties he's putting up today. Lots of hang time and pretty deep, almost to the end zone. San Francisco looking to come back. You can see in their faces, they're looking for those long shots, but the deep cut's not there, so they're hitting those shorts. And they're getting open on them too. They're looking a lot like Vancouver did on the last point, hitting those wide open receivers. San Francisco is target locking deep a little bit, but they're getting those unders when they become available. And a high backhand and a good grab. Called out of bounds. That was number 4, David Janinas, with a pretty throw, but receiver couldn't quite rein it in.
It's a part of it too. When you're throwing it down the field, you want to throw it to where only your guy'd be able to catch it. Unfortunately, that time the throw let him out of bounds. Great catch, but unfortunately, Vancouver played it well.
Dogfish choose to double team on the sideline. That doesn't stop Vancouver. They walk it right out. Michael Yee with the disc on the sideline, resets it. Taylor Nadon to the outside, Ted Chu. Backhand huck fake, looking for a short. Oh, and gets it. Just out of position, but a great grab. Believe that's Anthony Fan. I might have confused Anthony Fan and Ari Niddickman on a score earlier. Oh, Vancouver throws it away deep. It's going to be San Francisco Dogfish coming out of their own end zone. San Francisco with the disc. Lassiter, I believe. Oh, and a flick to the middle, but cut down by Michael LaRosse. And a great quick reception by number 20, Kevin Chan.
Vancouver desperately needs Seattle to lose both of their games remaining, and while they're up 6 points now, they have 19-point differential they need to make up, so you can expect if this game gets a little bit out of hand, Vancouver won't be letting up as you'd expect some other teams might earlier on in the season.
Michael McGurk for the San Francisco Dogfish picks it up, throws it to the center to Taylor Casino. The sharp flick up the middle and back out to the sideline. Some nice short play by the San Francisco, especially from Gabe Sonke. He's getting the disc every couple of catches. Outstanding player today. Oh, unfortunately, unfortunately, the Nighthawks just kind of lose track of the disc and the deep player, and I believe that was Sonke in the end zone. Another score for San Francisco. San Francisco with the pull. It's number 14, Hooker, with a rolling backhand. Goes out of bounds only about 2/3 of the way down the field. Vancouver's going to get it at the sideline. Brian Chen set up on the mark against Sam Creed with a nice high floaty backhand to Taylor Nadon for the reset. A nice backhand to Ari Niddickman and back to Taylor Nadon. These young players, these rookies, are really starting to build a chemistry late in the season. Oh, and unfortunate for Ari Niddickman, he got a foot block, a really nice one too. Didn't quite catch which San Francisco player got that, but that was a beauty. Now it's David Abram with the disc, throws it to the center and then out to the side. Sam Adamson throws it up the line. They're looking for someone in the center, and again it's Hooker. Fakes a hammer, throws a flick into the end zone, and backwards started Brian Cheng, who was the original marker on the play. San Francisco Dogfish with the pull. A high arcing backhand. Only gets about 2/3 of the way down. Again, Taylor Nadon and Sam Creed give and go up the field. Looking for Ari Niddickman in the center, but it goes to Morgan Hibbert. Taylor centers, Brendan Wong with a big flick OI across the field to Ari Niddickman, but a little too far, goes out of bounds, and it's San Francisco's disc.
That's really not Vancouver's game. You can see as we've been playing through almost 3/4 of Vancouver's game is very controlled spaces, high percentage passes. That one just got away from him a little bit. See if they can regroup on defense and get it back.
San Francisco Dogfish working it short, can't quite make it up the field at all. Oh, David Abram with a throw to, can't quite make out his number from here. I believe that's Brian Chang. But Nighthawks get the turn. Nadon on the sideline. It's up a high backhand to Sam Creed. Looks cross field, isn't there. Gives it up to Brendan Wong short. And with the give and go, Sam Creed gets it back, puts up a big lefty backhand, a beauty too. And it goes to Levi Jeske despite a terrific defensive play by the San Francisco Dogfish. Vancouver Nighthawks score. That was a nice defensive play by David Abram for the San Francisco Dogfish, but Levi Jeske with a second effort gets the disc and the score. And now Vancouver pulls to the Dogfish. They take a couple of short passes up the field. Sonke's looking to get it in the middle, and he gets it up the line. A German thrown over the top of his head. And back and forth between Sonke and James Yeager. San Francisco moving the disc pretty well. Michael McGurk in the center. They move it up. Reset to the center. And back to the outside. And a really nice play. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bang, 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 bang to David Janinas. That was a timeout called by the San Francisco Dogfish after they score. So they're going to pull from the 50. Probably going to put a backhand roller. I believe that's Sonke with the disc. And he does. A nice one, too. That's what you want in this kind of situation. A backhand roller to the back of the end zone. Pin them in the corner. Sam Creed. Surprised no double coverage here, though. San Francisco just going man and taking away Creed's target. With a high stall count, he has to put it up. And it's a jump ball. But this crosswind coming from the west takes the disc out of bounds. San Francisco's going to get it at about the 50.
See right on the Pacific Ocean. Vancouver's probably the windiest stadium, and at least in the Western Conference, Major League Ultimate. Very underrated, but the disc can just change directions like that.
Dogfish with a series of short little passes. Now they're in double coverage. Vancouver Nighthawks putting it on. David Abram getting it back and putting it across the field using the width. And he receives it again on the dump. And he throws a little scoober to the center to Hooker, who throws a flick, who's just too far for Sankey. Nighthawks disc, Ari Niddickman just outside his own end zone, but on the sideline. And Sankey not forcing the line, just doing a straight up. Gets it to Bobo Eric in the middle, who throws a big huck down the middle, but it's a little too sharp and a little too low. Receiver can't quite get to it, but that throw needed to be made because it is the end of the third quarter. Vancouver's up 15-11 over the Dogfish.
Point Six Socks, the official sock sponsor of Major League Ultimate. Check out www.point6.com for their full line of performance merino wool socks. Skippy, the official peanut butter of the MLU, made with the funnest peanuts ever. Skippy Yippee! Do you have an athletic event, team trip, or corporate outing coming up? If so, charter a private bus, minibus, or party bus from U.S. Coachways. Bus travel is one of the safest, greenest, and most comfortable ways to get your group to an event. If you're going with a group, trust U.S. Coachways. That's what we do.
And we are back with some exciting fourth quarter action. Terrific game between the San Francisco Dogfish and the Vancouver Nighthawks. Nighthawks up 15-11 over our guests from the south. San Francisco scored last. They get the pull. And that is, I believe that was Hooker on the pull. All the way into the end zone for the Vancouver Nighthawks. They center it. Looking off some open players, hoping for their play. Then they get it out. Ari Niddickman to Taylor Nadon, has it on the sideline. Back to Ari Niddickman. Looks for the swing, not there. Looks for the center. Great grab from Brendan Wong. Surest hands in the league. Little short flick to Morgan Hibbert. Vancouver may have found, a great layout grab from Levi Jeske. Vancouver may have found their right combination O-line here. Brendan Wong with a big sky flick, again with the second effort. This time it's a San Francisco second effort. Number 2, Sam Adamson getting some air. Snatching it away from Brendan Wong. Not sure, I think I might have called Brendan Wong throwing that too, in which case I would be in error. Not sure who threw that, but Brendan Wong was on the receiving end. So San Francisco getting it out of their own end zone. A low backhand up to the sideline. But number 21, Jackson Stearns, equal to the task. Gets low and grabs it. San Francisco moves it back and forth across the field. They're making those deep cuts, but they don't need to. They're getting some big gainers short. Dogfish throws some double coverage on number 5, Taylor Casino. Throws a scuba out, and it looks like that was a travel and a turn. I'm not sure what the call is, if that's a travel or a timeout. But the refs are giving it to the Nighthawks. Ari Niddickman picking up the disc.
Looks like Vancouver's playing a little more relaxed defensively and giving up some short passes. But up by 4, that's the type of offense you're going to have to give up. I'm sure I'd be happy to take some time off the clock, if nothing else.
Ari Niddickman out to Taylor Nadon. And Nadon, unfortunately, throws it away into coverage in the end zone. And San Francisco's disc. They put it up quickly. I didn't even see that throw come up. I just see it settle into the hands of the San Francisco player, number 2, Sam Adamson. He puts it back. Thrower looking for a swing, trapped on the sideline. Throws a big one. That was a big OI flick right into the hands of Morgan Hibbert. That's the last guy you want on the receiving end of your disc if you're a different team. And Vancouver goes back to look with this terrific offensive set here. Levi Jeske, Ari Niddickman. Niddickman back to Jeske. Quick little backhand to Nadon. Back to Jeske, who is unguarded and walking the disc down the field with his teammates. Morgan Hibbert to Brendan Wong. These 7 are the offensive line Vancouver has been looking for. Ari Nickman with the grab. Call on the field. Timeout. Vancouver taking a timeout as they approach their end zone. That was a sideline timeout. Andrew Lugston with a smart call, with a tired offensive set. You want to get this score, and you do. That's Sam Creed with the disc. A quick throw to Brendan Wong. Puts it in the end zone. 2. Didn't quite catch who caught that. I think it was Morgan Hibbert. But Vancouver putting another point on the board on a smart timeout. Now up 16-11. Vancouver Nighthawks put up a big backhand pull down the sideline. San Francisco gets it out and gets it to the center, though. Nighthawks were not able to contain it. Oh, and another nice D. This one, I believe, was Kevin Chan. Teams are both getting a little more aggressive. Vancouver wants to keep their lead, and San Francisco, of course, wants to close the gap. That's David Butters Hockhalter, cross-field hammer. Vancouver pulling after a nice cross-field hammer from David Hockhalter to Phil Davidson. Put up a nice little high release to Ari Nickman. Caught it for a score. Put Vancouver up by 6. Now San Francisco has the disc. Working it through the center, trying to find a gainer.
Seems Vancouver's willing to give up the middle of the field and out to the sides, at least in San Francisco's end, to take up a little bit more of the clock. It's just the deep throws they're particularly worried about.
That was number 6, Ted Chu, getting in the way of the disc there and quickly getting into the end zone, hoping for a quick throw. But Vancouver, they know they can milk the clock here with a 6-point lead. So hopefully they'll just walk it around. That was Michael Yee, fouled by the defender. Looks like Sonky, looks like Sonky. He's back on the mark. Michael Yee with the disc, walks it up 10 yards. Yee has these nice high releases. He loves putting them up there, and they are pretty. And that one's to Phil Davidson, who threw the last score. Vancouver Nighthawks with the pull, nursing a 7-point lead. What they need to do here is stop those Hawks. Just let them get the little short gainers and milk the clock. And that is a beautiful pull over the head of the Dogfish player. You can see Michael LaRosse with it, puts his wheels on. Runs down into the end zone. But San Francisco gets it out, working it up the side, or working it up the middle again. Hooker throws it up the sideline. Another sideline throw. They are getting some nice short gainers. Looks like that was a travel call. Turnover.
Nothing new there. The refs have been calling things like of that nature all afternoon long. This refereeing crew from Vancouver. And very aggressive on all their calls, keeping the balance of play.
That was number 35, Andrew Goldstein, on the travel call. David Hockhalter was on the mark, and now he has the disc. He's looking for something in the center. Calls a timeout. Did not have what he wanted. Didn't have a reset. This will be the Nighthawks' last time out of the game. David Hockhalter with the disc. Trapped on the sideline in double coverage. Sorry, that's not Hockhalter. They replaced him. I believe that's Sam Creed. It was a lefty throw. Hockhalter called the timeout. Sam Creed picked it up. I found my binoculars. Now I can correctly identify bodies. That was Sam Creed with the disc. He was in double coverage, couldn't find a reset, put it up the line, but time expired. And I think that is the first successful double coverage I've seen in this this whole season. San Francisco with the disc. Sam Addison has it in the center. Throws it back. San Francisco getting some short little throws. Vancouver not giving up much else. James Pollard with the disc and throws it to the outside. Misses the target. Believe that was Brendan Wong getting the D.
It helps the mistakes that San Francisco has made, but this is probably the strongest we've seen Vancouver play defensively this year.
Morgan Hibbert with a big put to a wide open Bobo Irick. Nighthawks ready for the pull. Again, Hockhalter, injured thumb and all, having an outstanding day today. Putting up some nice pulls too. Lands it a little short of the end zone in the center. Nighthawks pick it up. Quick flip, and they put it deep, a little too deep. It's going to be a turnover. They need to do that, though. They only have 3 minutes left, and they're facing a big deficit, which is exactly what the Nighthawks need. They need that point differential against Seattle if they have any chance at making the playoffs.
And even up by 8 points, you know, most teams would be content, but at this point in the season, Vancouver really needs to catch Seattle in terms of point differential as well. So we're not going to see them sit back as you'd expect some other teams to at this point in the game in the third quarter. As many points as they can possibly get, the more the better for their improbable playoff surge here.
Phil Davidson with a flick up the field to Mike LaRosse, a little backhand to Ted Chu. Call against the mark, a defensive foul.
It's a travel call.
I'm sorry, that was a travel call. Vancouver does not like those calls. And Sonke with a big, quick hammer. And looks like a little bit of a collision. Uh-oh, there's some trouble on the field. Can't quite tell what was called. But there was challenge in the end zone for the disc, and it hit the turf. But it looks like the disc goes back to San Francisco. Nighthawks are not happy with this call. We're not sure what the call is. Might have been a marking foul. But Sonke with a nice forehand OI to the back of the end zone. That was Nick Thompson from San Francisco with the grab. And I believe that was Hooker that put out that pull. And that's a nice, long, floaty one, close to the Nighthawks end zone. They center it, set up their play. They like to set up a play from the offense, go to a series of ISOs. Bobo Irick at the big flick straight up the field to Morgan Hibbert, doesn't reach him. San Francisco quickly puts up a huck, and they get it to number 1, Ian Ronahan, and another quick score from the San Francisco Dogfish. Dogfish scored, called a timeout, so they're going to pull from the 50. Probably do that roller again. You want to pin your opponent in the back of the end zone here. And they do, a backhand roller. Drops in the center of the field. Vancouver stuffs it, and they want to get it out quickly, but the first 3 players run past it. And now they just rely on their cutting, which is excellent this game. Morgan Hibbert with that first in cut to Sam Creed. Sam Creed puts up a nice floaty huck. And man, did somebody get sky there. That was Bobo Irick. Quickly puts it out to Taylor Nadon and proceeds down the field. Quickly flips it to Morgan Hibbert with that little trademark air bounce backhand into Brendan Wong, a favorite target. And with almost 50 seconds left, Vancouver is up 20-13. Vancouver Nighthawks, possibly the last pull of the game, 50 seconds left. Get it to the San Francisco Dogfish. I think it's safe to say at this point that the Dogfish are not going to recover. And this marks the end of their season. They put up a couple of big ones here. Oh, and they try to get it in the end zone there. The Vancouver Nighthawks were equal to the task. I believe that was Kevin Chan deep. Sorry, that was Anthony Fan, number 10 for the Vancouver Nighthawks, getting a nice deep play on that. Vancouver just has to sit on the disc now. Of course they don't. They huck it with a high arcing backhand to Ted Chu with a grab right outside the end zone. He's looking for a quick score, and he does put it to number 10, Anthony Fan. This will be the last point of the game. 2.5 seconds left. Vancouver up by 8, and this is exactly the game they needed. A big point differential against San Francisco because they need Seattle to lose their next 2 games and then to beat their point differential to win. San Francisco puts up a big huck at the end, trying to get that last point. Don't quite get it. Nighthawks take it convincingly after 2 horrible losses in San Francisco. But they come back with a vengeance, win this game 21-13. And now it's all up to Seattle with their 2 games. And then the Nighthawks winning their last game by a big enough point differential to make it matter to get them into the playoffs.